Hi everyone, this is Emmy. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little crochet dangly snowman. And here's another little view of him. So we're going to get started and make him right now. To make this snowman, I'm going to work with 2 strands of yarn. You could use worsted weight. This happens to be a crinkly worsted weight, and a size 9mm crochet hook. That's a really big hook. The first thing we're going to do is make the legs section of our snowman. This snowman is made by making chains. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And I'm going to fasten off. Okay, so that's going to be the legs of the snowman. And we're just going to put a bead on here when we're done for the feet. Okay, so now we're going to make the arms, and so we'd have to chain less than we did for the legs, and we chained 10 for the legs, so I'm going to chain 6. 2, 4, 6, and we're going to fasten off like that. Okay, so now we're going to find the center of the leg section, which is here. We're going to find the center of the arm section by folding them in half, which is there. And then we can just take a yarn needle and sew those together right there at the center. Like that. I'm just going to tie a knot here. Okay, to make the bauble, start with a slip knot. Chain 2. Make 4 single crochets in the second stitch from the hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Slip stitch to join. Chain 1. Working in a spiral, single crochet 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Working in a spiral means you don't slip stitch to join, you just continue to crochet around and around. Nine and 10. You could stuff a cotton swab in here, or a little bit of paper towel, or whatever you need. But this yarn is fairly lofty, so I'm just going to go directly across from the hook, and I'm going to slip stitch to join and fasten off. The end from the beginning of the bauble can be pulled right into the inside cavity of the bauble. Thread that into a yarn needle and attach it, and it'll start making sense shortly. So we're going to sew the snowman's head right on top of those 2 chains that we made, like that. Take a few stitches back and forth, and then you can cut off that yarn. Okay, so now just to make this make a little bit more sense for you, you're going to take one of the strands of yarn and pass it through a pony bead, tuck it right up to the end of the chain, then take the other yarn end and tie a square knot. Here's what it looks like. We have one of the legs, and now we have this little bead on the end. So you can either just cut this yarn off, like you can weave it back into the leg. I'm just going to cut them off, and I'm just going to leave just a tiny little bit of yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the other one. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've tied another bead on the opposite foot, and then I've done one on each end of the arms. To make the scarf, I'm going to use another worsted weight yarn, and I'm going to use a 5 or 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, just any size smaller than the 9 that we've been using. And I'm going to chain long enough to make a scarf. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've chained 20, and now I'm going to single crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and I'm going to single crochet in every stitch down the chain. I've chained 20, and then I've single crocheted in every stitch of the chain, and now I'm done, so I'm going to fasten off. And I could just weave these yarn ends into the scarf, but I'm just in everything being simple, so I'm going to tie this into a square knot, and I'm going to cut it about 1 inch. And on the other end of the scarf, I'm just going to pull my yarn through, and I'm going to tie that into a square knot and make another fringe on the other side of the scarf. Cut that off at about 1 inch. And I'm going to just take a few stitches right through from the back to the front, and then I'm going to go from the front to the back, remove the needle, and tie in a square knot. So there's our little snowman. Going to add some little pink cheeks there, just a little dab. Okay, I sewed a button on his scarf, and I just tied this little bell that I happen to have on one of his arms. So you could put a Christmas ornament hanger through one of just pass it through the yarn on the top of his head.